Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Joe. Welcome to Map 125. I just want to show you a few things about how the navigation and such for this course is going to work. Um, so let's begin. I think the first thing I want to show you is that you really don't want to be going onto Blackboard. Here's the Blackboard screen. You'll notice the only thing in there is a note to tell you no, don't use this. So there is also over here on the side a link to where we're actually working, which is on the My Open Math system. My experience has led me to think that most people have used My Open Math at some point in their lives. So pop into My Open Math. Now I'm actually logged in right now. I should probably log out. Wait, how do I log out? Oh yeah, there's a button that says log out. The reason I wanted to start fresh and show you what it looks like to, when you haven't used this system before. In that case, you can't log in. You have to register as a new student, and it brings you to this screen. Um, you got to choose your own username. You can do that however you like, although keep it family friendly because it will appear to myself and to other folks in the class. Um, Pick a password. They're a little persnickety about the passwords. You have to have upper and lowercase letters as well as numbers in them, and they have to be 8 characters long. Not not a huge thing. Your first and last name. Put in your email address. It's better for me if you use your Southern email. Um, Certify that you're over 13, and then you agree to the terms of use. Most people don't bother with reading them, but if you'd like to read the thing you're saying you agree to, it's right there. Click on that spot. And I gave you this course ID 226737 in an email, and then the enrollment key was the word butter. Anyway, hit sign up, and then you'll automatically be in the course. On the other hand, if you already have a login, and I created this dummy ID for this purpose, and her password is, I think, woo. Anyway, if you have the account already, you may have to log in first and then sign up for the course with that course ID and the password enrollment key, as they call it. But this person's already signed in, and anyway, once you get through all this rigmarole, you come down to this sort of welcoming screen for the course. So the first thing you see is a calendar. Um, let's see. Well, we'll come back to the calendar in a second. The next thing on here, and it gives me an opportunity to talk about the navigation a little bit. You see these black triangles that are at the sides of things. When they're in that orientation, that means that something's hidden behind it. You click it like that, and it goes into a downward facing triangle, and now it's revealed the stuff that you was previously hidden. Anyway, this is where you will find the syllabus and a schedule. There's also a link for my personal Zoom room. So if you want to get online and do an office hour, just first shoot me an email or a text and, you know, suggest a time. I'm pretty much available all the time. So yeah, really, even till late at night. Maybe not so early in the morning, but like anytime after 8 a.m. until midnight is usually going to work just fine. Anyway, we'll come back to this, but I wanted you to see where you can get to the course syllabus, and there's actually a schedule of what we're going to be doing. It's a 6-week course, so I aim to try to hold to that schedule as closely as possible so that we don't end up missing stuff. Okay, back to the calendar. The the stuff in this odd, what is that, turquoise, funny shade of blue anyway, is the thing I need to mention next. Our course has 3 exam dates. The final exam on July 7th, and then in June on the 9th and the 23rd, we're having 2 hour-long exams. Those have to be done in person here at Southern, because we're trying to make sure that exams happen in a proctored setting. So if you currently don't have those dates cleared, please do so. Talk to your boss or whatever you need to do to make sure that you can come in at some point on those 3 days. The first 2 things are just 1 hour exams. The final you get 2 hours for, and on each of these 3 days, we've got people arranged to cover all times from 9 a.m. till 5 at night. Well, beginning at 5. So, like for the final, you could go 5 to 7. If there's special needs for times outside of that, I can even arrange that. But let's try to do it on those days. The other thing I should mention about the calendar here is I've just kind of crammed all the assignments that are due into the end of the weeks. So this first week, well, you should try to get through assignments 1 and 2 and be ready to do a quiz on that material. Another thing I should mention, the BHW that's right there stands for book homework. There's sort of 2 styles of homework in the course. One is this My Open Math assignments. The other is paper and pencil, right? Work on your problems out of the book in the usual way. For the book homeworks, you're going to need to scan them and then upload them onto this system so that I can have a look. Let me say something about grading while that's on my mind. Here's the syllabus for the course. And at the bottom of that is all about the grading. Now, there's a lot of stuff going into this grading policy, so you should know that I consider it to be divided into sort of roughly equal halves that are, let's say, hardcore versus easy. The My Open Math stuff, you can keep trying on that until you've got 100% on all those assignments, so that's easy, and that counts for a quarter of your grade. The book homework is also easy in this sense that I'm really not looking to grade all that stuff. I'm going to be scanning it and saying, this person looks like they tried, and you get a check mark if you did try. The things that are a little more rough, though, are the 2 exams and the final. Those will, it's math. I know it's hard. A lot of people find math intimidating. I think that you'll find this goes at a pace that you can handle, and I'm trying to be as helpful as I can with it. So my experience has been that most people who have the ability to stay on task and work through this material do just fine on the exams. But the homework and the My Open Math stuff is there to help boost your grades if they need it. It's kind of intermediate between the hardcore and the easy stuff is quizzes. These are administered right through the My Open Math system. They're timed. You've got 30 minutes to answer 10 questions, and that's actually more than enough time for all of these quizzes. People generally finish in 10 to 15 minutes, but I wanted to make sure that you didn't feel pressured, right? While you're doing the quizzes, while it is timed, it's not a very hardcore constraint. Anyway, the other thing that's nice about quizzes is you get 2 shots at each of the quizzes. So if you don't like your score on the first one, take it again. It will only count your best score. It's not whatever is the last. So that's good. And last point on quizzes, they're each worth 20 points, and we'll have 6 of them, which adds up to more than 100 points. You'll notice that I've said 100 points for quizzes. Well, that is because we get to drop the lowest one. So yeah, again, that's something that I think the quizzes will end up being a plus rather than a minus to your grades. Some other stuff on the syllabus that I should mention. One thing is this note about the graphing calculator. See this in here? It's not required, and what I recommend is you use the GeoGebra app from the start. There's another app called Desmos, which is in a lot of ways nicer. It's got a kind of a cleaner interface, and I think it gives a better appearance to your graphs and things. The problem with Desmos is it doesn't have tools that handle the stuff we do towards the end of the class, and GeoGebra does. So maybe if you just get used to GeoGebra and its foibles, it'll be better in the end. But you're welcome to use Desmos if you want to. And in fact, a lot of the demos I'll do in these video lectures will be using Desmos. That said, if you're going to want to use Desmos on your cell phone, during the exam periods, you need to make sure you get the version of it that has exam mode. GeoGebra automatically has an exam mode, but Desmos, you have to double check that you've got the one that allows you to, basically it locks your phone so that you can't get out and consult Siri or whatever, and lets you work on just that app and get your test done. And then it shows a timer. When you get to the end of the test, make sure to not just quit, but rather hold on to the final splash screen that shows how much time you've been using it, because you'll need to show that to the exam proctors. Okay, well, that's most what I needed to get to for today, just to kind of show you how to navigate. There's just one last thing I want to mention, which is the book for the course. There's, if you're in this Welcome to Math 125 thing, I just closed it. Let me reopen it. There's a little bit of talk about the textbook, and the text we're using is 2 open source books, and we've sort of picked and choose chapters out of them. The problem is that navigating that kind of Frankenstein collection of 2 different books is very difficult. And so, yes, you can get this as a PDF. You can get a printed copy from Lulu. It's really cheap. But my strong advice is don't bother with the book at all. Just use just use the thing that I am about to show you, which is this. If you're in one of these MyOpenMath assignments, the assignments begin right here, where the first one is our section on algebra. Here's the first assignment. If you click right on that, you're into the assignment, but you'll notice right above where the assignment begins, there's another nav thing that lets you look at videos. Now, in this video section, you'll see a lot of short videos about various topics, and the names of them will kind of clue you into what's in there. There's a much longer overview video from me at the top of the list. They're long, so maybe it's hard to get through, but if you want the actual experience of like a full hour lecture for one of these topics, then go to that. But the other thing that's really useful for you here is the book stuff has been plucked out and put right in here. So for instance, in this particular section, there's 2 chapters from the book. PDF 1 has the material from the first chapter, including when you get down to the end of this file. It's not that long of a file. You see the homework problems. Well, there's maybe a longer one. Okay, here we go. So 1.1 exercises. This is where the problems come from when it's talking about book homework. So that's probably worth saying again. Maybe even demonstrating a second time. You go to do book homework 1, and you're supposed to find section 1.1 on the book, and it tells you what pages they are if you're in the PDF, but it's much easier to go into here, open up videos and readings, and click one of these PDFs. This is section 5 about quadratics, and at the end of that file, you'll find the problems that you need to do in section 5. Actually, I guess it's 1.5 in here. I go back to the assignment, the book homework 1, 1.5, that's the ones we got to do, 7, 8, 13, and 14. So literally the stuff that where you need to find the problems is in the navigation area just above where the book homework problems are listed. Well, I guess, you know what, since this is kind of a short video, I'm going to do one more thing, which is kind of give you a quick overview of what it is we're supposed to be doing in this class. I've already sort of shown you the algebra review. That's more or less this first couple of days. You should, even though it doesn't say it's due, you should get started on the exponentials and logs sections this week. So that gets you a little cushion as we move forward. The sections of this book, or of this course, that basically fall into 3 parts. I don't count the algebra review because that is, like it says, a review. It's stuff you already should know about. So the first real stuff is exponential and then logarithmic functions, which are sort of opposite sides of the same coin. Exponential functions are the sorts of things that you get when you put money into an account and you start earning interest, for instance. That's one of the primary cases of an exponential function. We'll talk about the business applications of looking at exponential growth and using logarithms to solve problems about exponentials a good bit. The next half of the course, next third of the course, I suppose, is calculus, which is a scary sounding topic, but it is it's treated pretty narrowly here. We don't get into a lot of the nitty gritty details. Um, and I think you'll find that it's a very useful way to start thinking about things. It's a tool for thinking about phenomena that involve change. And everybody knows the world is constantly changing. So yeah, calculus is good for that. It also is uh, used quite a lot to, let's how to say this, to find the very best possible solution to some scenario. Like you're running a business and you've got to decide how much should we put into the advertising budget for this business. Well, you can use calculus to figure out the exact amount that'll give you the maximum return, the most profit. What's the right amount of money to spend on your advertising? Too much means you saturate the market. Too little means people don't know about you. You get the sweet spot, and you figure that out using calculus. The last third of the class is in these last two sections: systems of linear equations and matrices, and linear programming. Both of those have the word linear in them, but it's being used in a technical sense. We don't really mean lines in this case. It's not going to be mx plus b, but there's some ways in which it's well, related to the mx plus b stuff. Okay, so that's a quick overview of the class, the how to navigate the MyOpen Math system. Please send me an email or a text message if you have any other questions, and take it easy.